Let's talk about intensity palettes. We spoke about groups previously. So a group is a channel selector, but you may want to be able to quickly call up some intensities for a set of channels or all the channels. And the way we can accomplish that is using intensity palettes. And there are a couple of different approaches that we're going to take a look at. One way is if you always are going to a particular level, say everything kind of by default goes up to 80% rather than full, we can create an intensity palette for that. So we're going to do that real quick. And the way we do that is we're going to set all of our channels 1 through 120 at 80, enter. So now all of our channels are at a level. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do record intensity palette 1, enter. We're going to do the same thing 1 through 120 at, and in this case we'll go to 70, enter. And we're going to do a record intensity palette 2, enter. And you can continue on down 60, 50, 40 to whatever levels seem appropriate. So now we're going to get rid of the red by doing a sneak enter. And once those fade out, the way we use that is we're not going to recall 1 through 120 all at once. What we're going to do is we're going to select 1 through 5, intensity palette 1, enter. So now 1 through 5 are at 80. And the way I know that is it says intensity palette 1 on the channel display. If you come up here and you hold down the data button, it'll change where it says IP1 on the channels are displaying. If you hold that down, it shows us that it's at 80%. 1 through 5 are still selected. So if I go intensity palette 2, enter, it'll now say IP2. And I held down data, and they're at 70%. You can do the same thing with any channel selection at this point. So we can do 21 through 25, intensity palette 1, enter. So it's a real fast, easy way to start applying some standard or generic, some default levels that you jump to. So that's one approach. The other approach, and all I'm doing is sneak entering to clear things out. We're going to fade the channels back out. Another approach is, what if I don't want all the levels to be the same? For instance, if we're mixing a psych wash or a psych look, and we want to mix not just red, blue, or green, but we want to mix to a particular color. So just because they're easy to see, we're going to stay with channels 1 through 5, and they're lighting our psych. We're going to set them at different levels. So if I do 1 at 80, and 2, we're just going to kind of mix the level to something we like. 3, same thing, some level. 4, and 5. So now we have something that we've mixed to a particular look or set of levels. Can do record intensity palette 3, enter, and so on down the line. Now what happens is every time we call up 1 through 5, so channels 1 through 5, intensity palette 3, enter, and they will have gone to those levels. And again, using the data key, we can see that they go to the levels that we had set. Sneak enter will release them, and that's kind of how you use intensity palettes.